So, as always, anything that you might want to like keep you warm, so like a blanket, or a sweatshirt, or anything that you can use to kind of fill the space between your body and the floor. So I have my bolsters near me today, but if you don't have yoga bolsters, don't worry about it. You can use a couch pillow, you can use a towel, you can use regular pillows, blankets, really anything to just kind of tuck underneath the parts of the body that are kind of feeling like they're not relaxing. So we're gonna just start seated today. So you can always sit up onto a blanket, or you can just be right on the floor or wherever you're at, or in the chair. Anything you want with the legs. I don't care where you begin today in that seated position. The legs can be out in front of you, they can be crossed, they can be wide, but just starting to find a comfortable place. Just starting to settle in. So maybe that settling in requires you to just kind of move a little bit. Maybe you've been sitting all day. Maybe you've been running around all day. Maybe it's been a little bit of both. If it feels okay, you can start to close the eyes or just start to soften the gaze. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. Relax the jaw. Even just gently wiggling the muscles of the face, maybe scrunching up your face and then letting it go. I know for me, I find that when I'm trying to relax, my face kind of tenses up. And I'd only start to notice it after I've been holding for a while, and I have to just remind myself to wiggle the jaw and relax. And it's always much easier said than done. But just that awareness helps me release even just a little bit. You can bring your arms and your hands wherever's comfortable. Your spine may be in a really tall, long position, or you may have a little rounding in the back. Just invite you to find a place where you can find a little balance. Notice your breath. Just start to observe the inhales. Go in and out. Don't feel like the position you chose now is the one that you have to stick with. If it starts to become uncomfortable, or if you're just feeling antsy today, you can always change position. Sometimes just having a little bit of constant movement, especially if you're feeling antsy, maybe just wiggling the fingers, especially as we settle into practice, can help you release just a little bit. A few more moments here. Just one more moment, one more breath. And wherever your legs are at, just go ahead and start to bring the soles of the feet together and take the knees wide. And this is a place where you can start to reach for your blankets or your pillows and maybe just kind of slide something underneath the knees or the thighs. That's just an option. So if you feel like you're in a place and your legs can soften a little bit, meaning just kind of not feeling like you're really activated to hold yourself here, perhaps you don't use any props. Or even sometimes I like to use props at the beginning because then it allows me to release a little bit quicker. And then as I continue to hold, I might just slide them away from me. If it feels okay, just start to lean your torso forward, hinging at the hips. It doesn't matter how far you go, but feel as if you're trying to round the spine. So creating a little bit of space along your back, a little bit extra room to breathe. You can bring your hands wherever's comfortable to hold you. If at any point you find yourself getting distracted, or you feel like your mind is just starting to wander and you want to pull your attention back, just bring your awareness back to your inhale and exhale. Observing your breath can be a great tool for bringing yourself into the present. As we continue to hold, don't be afraid to play, perhaps allowing your body to go a little deeper, seeing if you can release into the shape, even just 1% more than where you are at now. Just a little while longer here. Last round of breath. Nice and slow, start to lift your body all the way back up. You can move any props, any blankets, any pillows out of the way. Straighten the legs. Take a moment. Invite movement here if that feels good. And then you can keep your legs out in front of you if that feels okay. You can cross the legs. We're going to bring our attention to just around the head and the neck. So whatever feels comfortable with your legs and your arms, go for it. But just find a little bit of movement in the shoulders, rolling the shoulders back and forth. And just allow your chin to drop towards your chest. So try not to bring your shoulders with you as you do that. Let the shoulders create a little bit of resistance. And again, your eyes can be open or closed, wherever you feel most comfortable. And just gently and really slowly, just allow the chin to roll across the center of the chest. We're just going to do this like 2, maybe 3 times. And as you're working through that, the next time your right ear comes towards your right shoulder, I want you to pause. So kind of let that gaze go forward, but just allowing the head to drop towards the right. So you're not trying to like press the ear down to your shoulder. You're not trying to lift the shoulder up to your ear. You're just letting the shoulder relax and you're just allowing the head to naturally go wherever it's going to fall. And I don't even want you to feel like you're trying to press the head into a stretch to feel a stretch on the left side of the neck. You might, but I don't want you to be searching for it. Just allow the head to be heavy. Focus on your breath, allowing it to relax and release you. You're going to keep your right ear towards your right shoulder, but this time, instead of your nose pointing forward, I want you to just turn your nose towards the right knee. So just turning that chin a little bit closer to the right while still keeping your right heavy, your head heavy. And you have all these little muscles in our neck and holding up our skull. And they're always working really hard. Few more breaths here. Last one. Nice and slow. Allow your chin to roll back to the center of the chest. Just observe for a moment, check in. And then you'll keep going so that the left ear finds the left shoulder. And again, remember, you're not trying to bring the ears up to the shoulder up to the ear or the ear down to the shoulder. Just kind of letting the head hang out there. You might feel sensation and a stretch on the right side. You may not. You might just observe for a moment how the sides totally feel different. And it's okay to change the position of the legs at any point. Just focusing on the head and the neck. So your nose is facing forward, and we're gently just going to point your nose towards the left knee. So keeping the head heavy over to the left side, just finding a little different spot on the left side of the neck to bring our attention to bring the stretch to. Last few rounds of breath. And after your next breath, allow the chin to come back to the center of the chest. And nice and slowly lift your head up. Again, you might add some movement in the shoulders. Maybe a little bit of movement again with the head. Just kind of noticing if maybe you have a little bit more space. We're going to start to make our way onto our hands and our knees. We're not going to stay here for too long. But make your way onto your hands and your knees. And maybe just move through a little bit of cat-cow. So we've been sitting for a while. Just moving the spine in all the different directions. So you can do side to side, back and forth. We'll begin to make our way into a child's pose. So I really encourage you to use props here. So again, whether that prop is a pillow, whether props are blankets, whether props are towels, they can make them really high. Like I'm making mine a little bit high today. And sitting back on your heels, take your knees wide. If you already start to come into this and it's really uncomfortable on your knees, hang tight for a second. I'll give you an alternative in a moment. But you can also slide a pillow or a towel behind the knees so your booty's up a little bit higher. And you're just going to let the torso lay on top of whatever props you made. And just let the hips sink towards the heels. So even the way that I have myself here, I've got a really high under pillows and bolsters underneath my torso. So my hips are a little bit elevated, but that's fine. I can kind of let them hang out in space and let gravity take over, or I can even grab an extra blanket and slide it behind my knees. You can bring your forehead straight onto your props or turn your cheek. If you were hanging tight, waiting for an alternative so that way you're not on your knees, you're going to make your way onto your back. And then you're just going to hug your knees in, but I want you to think like you're trying to hug your knees up towards your armpits. So as opposed to into the center of the chest, you're going to feel like you're trying to go up towards your armpits. And you can hold on to your pants. You can even use a towel and bring it behind the knees and just kind of hold on to the towel. It's going to give you the same stretch along the back body. You're just in a different position. So don't think too hard. Tune in with your body. See what it needs today. Every day is a little different. Allow your body just to start to get heavy. Bring your arms wherever is comfortable. Relax the shoulders. Relax the toes. Relax the jaw. Again, if you find yourself getting distracted or starting to make lists in your head, just observe your inhale and your exhale. Just bring your attention back to the present, utilizing your breath. If you have one cheek turned to the ground, just go ahead and turn your gaze the other way. If you're on your back and you're holding your legs in, notice if you're gripping your hands really, really strong. You have to hold on a little bit. See how much you can let go without letting the legs fall. Just a little while longer. Last full breath here. If you're on your back, just go ahead and release the legs, maybe stretch them out in front of you. If you're on your knees, gently move, lift yourself up, and just slide the props out of the way. Any props that anyone's using, we'll slide them out of the way. And you can come onto your hands and knees and go ahead and stretch your legs back. Just release the back of the knee. You're on your back. Go ahead and roll to one side. I'm not going to make you get all the way up. Your gaze is down and you release the backs of the legs. You're going to make your way onto your belly. Whatever you need on the way there. And if you're on your side, coming from your back, just go ahead and keep going until you're on your belly. Now you can bring the forehead to the ground. If you're looking at the screen, I'm just keeping my head up so you can hear me. You might even bend the knees a little bit. Just to release the low back as you get into a new position. You can make a pillow with your hands. Let's just pause here. I'm not going to add anything at the moment, but we will in a few moments. But just settle into this new perspective. Just the whole body laying out. Again, your eyes can be open or closed wherever you feel most comfortable. And slowly start to come up onto your forearms. And maybe your elbows are underneath your shoulders, or maybe your elbows are a little bit more forward. We're not going to stay in this position for too long, but I just want you to walk the left hand forward, and you're going to slide the right arm towards the left. And then you're going to walk the left hand towards the right. So your arms are going to be in a funky cross. I call this bow tie. Didn't see why I call it bow tie. So it's almost like you're giving yourself a hug. Now, if being on your belly in this position is not comfortable and you're just like, I can't do this, that's totally fine. You can come into a seated position and you can literally just give yourself a hug. Or you can even roll back onto your back, actually, and give yourself a hug with the left arm on top. It does take a few moments to get used to. Feel as if you're trying to pull the shoulder blades apart. You can let your chin rest on your arms. You can always bring a prop underneath the forehead. Just a couple more breaths here. We're not here for too long. Easiest way to come out is to bring the left arm back and then unwrap the right arm. You can come all the way down to your belly, make that pillow with the hands before we come to the other side. And then just for a moment, we'll come back up onto your forearms. This time you'll walk the right hand forward so you can slide the left arm towards the right. And then bring the right arm towards the left. It's going to feel different from side to side. Your mobility is typically different in the shoulder from side to side. So it's okay if it's not a perfect bow tie. And it's okay if you want to come onto your back or come to seated. Just make sure you untangle yourself before you try to move. I just feel like you're trying to create a little bit of breathing room between the shoulder blades. Last couple breaths here. So go ahead and unwrap the right arm, unwrap the left arm. You can come all the way back onto your belly. We're going to stay on our belly and just start to bring the right knee out to the right side. So the inside of the leg is connected to the floor. You can keep the upper body totally down. You can keep a pillow with your hands or use an actual pillow. Maybe something thin, just so there's a little soft underneath your head, but I don't want your head pushed up too much. If this is too much for you and you want to create a little less space in this stretch, you're not going to add a prop underneath you, but you can just go ahead and kind of push yourself over onto the left side a little bit. So that way there's just more of a slope. If you actually try to bring a prop underneath your knee, it's going to make it deeper. So if you want it deeper, go ahead and add something underneath the knee. If you want it less deep, go ahead and roll a little bit to the left. Just a little while longer here. Start to slide your right leg back to meet your left. We're going to come right into the second side. So go ahead and just bring your left leg over to the left side right away. And again, you have those same options. If you want a little bit more, you can slide something underneath the knee. If you need a little less, roll a little bit to the right. Your sides are going to be totally different, so don't instinctively go for a modification or an alternative until you have a moment to allow your body to feel it. Almost there. Tuning back in with your breath. And slowly start to slide your left leg back to meet your right. You need a little motion there, go for it. And from here, we're going to make our way onto our backs. So you can just kind of roll onto your side. Don't roll all the way over to your back yet. That I feel like is a lot. But just roll onto your side. You'll use your knees to support you. And then you can keep the roll going when you feel ready and roll all the way onto your back. So taking any movement you'd like when you get onto your back. So you might rock the knees, you might starfish your whole body, just taking up a lot of space. You can even hug the knees in. Don't feel too attached to any option or any place to go. Just kind of check in with your body and see what it wants as you come into this new position. You might even just allow the knees to knock and fall towards each other. And when you feel ready, you're going to make your way right into your final Shavasana. So you can slide some support underneath the legs, whether that's your pillows, your blankets, your dogs, your cats. Only if they'll be still. And again, with me, you always have the option to come onto your side in that fetal position, or throw your legs up onto a chair or a couch or up a wall. Finding any place where you can really just soften the body, release the body, let go a little bit more than you've already been letting go. And spending time in complete and total gratitude for your practice today. Shavasana. Slowly start to bring some awareness back into the space. Bringing some awareness back into the body. Wiggling the fingers and the toes. Rolling out your wrists and your ankles. Rocking your head from side to side. When you're ready, beginning to roll on to your side. And starting to press yourself up into a comfortable seated position, keeping the focus inside. Bringing your hands to your heart center, gently bow your head. Thank yourself for making it to your mat today, for your practice, for your energy, for your breath, and most importantly, for yourself. Namaste.